Welcome everybody to my show, my thing, my drawing thing. I am Thromguard, and this is the first episode of Daily Creation, where I just get on here and I just make something for whatever reason, and hope you enjoy it, hope you learn something, hope that everything else, blah blah blah. Whatever, I don't care anymore. So anyway, what the show is basically I sit down here on my computer and I draw you these masterpieces on my digital drawing tablet that I picked up off the internets. And I will be drawing you all kinds of fun things. And it'll be a fun little learning process. I'm not real super familiar with these. I'm usually a paper pencil kind of guy, so this should be a good learning thing for me. I hope maybe you can maybe I can give some tips. Oh no. Oh, sorry. I just got done eating, like, no joke, eating like half a pack of saltine crackers, and my throat's very dry. Little piece of salty, grainy, dry cracker got stuck in my throat, and I started coughing. But we're back. I took a little drink of my energy drink, and my throat is clear. So let's begin. I guess to kind of give a premise of what I like to draw is. Or did I finish what I was saying? Well, anyway, I draw stuff and I'm going to put it on here. You watch it, whatever. Let's move on. So let's begin. Let's get our brush. That should work. And what I'm planning on drawing is, I don't know, for a reason I was thinking about Kirby one day, which happens kind of regularly. Kirby would just pop up in my head. And I thought about his porcupine power, which isn't the best power in the game by no stretch of the imagination, but it's kind of cool. So I'm just going to draw that. Or I'm going to draw a monster based around that. I'm using like a light gray ink or like a medium gray ink right now because this is the first part and it's just beating it up. You're just going to start scratching stuff out. We're just going to kind of get an idea of what we're going here. This is something I didn't do early on when I was really drawing a lot and younger kid. And is you gotta jump in there and just beat this stuff to death to get it to work, because you got it in your head, right? You got it like in your head what it's going to look like, but you don't really have like a concept of it. And I would always try to make it perfect the first time around, and it doesn't work. You got to just go in and just bash it to pieces. So this is going to look just horrific, but bear with me. This is what you're supposed to do, or at least this is how I learned how to do it. But that's if there's any kind of advice I would give as far as drawing, that's definitely one of them. Here, let me just do this real quick. That's a little high. Let's move that down just a smidge. There we go. So this is the idea. So I'm just going to draw like this creature. He's going to have like an underslung jaw with big teeth and all kinds of stuff. Creatures kind of my jam. I like drawing creatures. Follow me on my Instagram. I'll post it right now. Bang! It's right there on the stage, and you can kind of see. And on my Instagram, it's kind of a little more freeform, whereas this is much more based on the digital drawing. If you go on Instagram, on my Instagram, I'll be doing all kinds of other things, just like physical drawings and all kinds of stuff. So I'm literally running two computers because one's running my audio and the other one's running my screen capture, because both of my computers are too old to run both at the same time. So I have one computer recording my audio and the other one recording my screen capture. With their powers combined, they're a somewhat compatible computer. This tablet's super cool because it's super pressure sensitive. So like if I go real light, like here, I'm barely touching it and it just kind of does that. But if I go like heavy, it goes like that. And it's got these hotkeys, which helps me to like basically Control-Z quickly. Like it's just Command-Alt-Z, bang, or Command-Z. What's Command-Alt-Z? I don't think that's a thing. But so it lets me do that, and it makes me make a new layer, zoom in and out, all kinds of stuff. We're just kind of do this to kind of get a rough idea where everything's going. Like I said, just got to beat this thing to pieces. And what I oftentimes do is I'll leave that there. Okay, so I kind of got a good idea where I want everything. I might do this, though. Let me drop the opacity of this just a smidge, because I'm going to draw over top of this. I'm going to kind of use this as my wireframe. Now, if I did this on paper, I would draw this all out, and then I would go back over it with more pencil, and then I would erase it and put ink on it and erase it. It's a whole big thing. It's a dirty way of doing it. I know a lot of artists or like against that, but that's how I do it. And really that's art. You just kind of have to do what you do, you know. People are going to tell you a lot of different things, and you know, there's a lot of great advice to have, but at the end of the day, you got to do your own thing. Now, I kind of got an idea where the eyes are going. Now with my monsters, I kind of abhor reality. I like cartoons that are just like, they just ignore that. I like comic books that do the same thing. Like my favorite comic book series is The Max or Scud. Both a phenomenal series that kind of shaped me and kind of shaped the way I draw and stuff. But like they don't follow any kind of like schema that would say that the reality is a certain way. It kind of does their own thing. So we are going to do the same. What I'll do is I'll draw out everything on here, and then I'll paint underneath the lines to do the contours and all the colors and all that fun stuff. And what I'll oftentimes do is I'll come back in and I'll go over top of the black and I'll start shaping that even more too. So like the first big chunk, put all the rough stuff on, then come in, put the outlines, and then come in, put in color, and then you're just, then it becomes a game of fine tuning. So, and I love big honking teeth and gums and all kinds of stuff on my monsters. And this is kind of, I'm self-taught, so it's just from reading comic books and watching cartoons and just studying. And even with this tablet, it was just like, I watched maybe like 2 minutes worth of video and I just started jumping in it, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Really reluctant to get the tablet at first because I was just like, I'm so like paper and pencil. I didn't want to like have that taken away from me. But this doesn't really take it away. It becomes something else entirely. So it's actually really, really fun. And actually now I'm actually more engrossed in this than I am with the paper and pencil, because you're just not limited to, because paper and pencil, like you have your limitations. It can only do so much, but this is just like, you can paint, you can sculpt, it's just infinite. See, the wireframe, once again, is just kind of like a guide. I can change it as I go. It kind of gives me a rough idea where I'm going to put stuff, but see, like right here, this whole section right here, like it doesn't really work because I kind of want him squat on the ground. So what I'll do is I'll just draw this out like his belly's extend out. I'm just going to kind of do that and then put him more squat on the ground. Once again, I'm not if you're looking for realism, this is the wrong video you're looking for. I do not draw fruit in baskets and all that fun stuff. Nothing against that. Just I am not a classically trained artist by any stretch of the imagination. I have great respect for the classics, but it's definitely not where I am. And that's kind of part of it. You just have to kind of find where you fit in, find your little spot. The reality of it is too is like, once you develop a style and it becomes your style and you kind of just build from there, people will respect that. You'll create a customer base, fan base, whatever you want to call it, and people will just be all about it. So you have to trust that instinct as well. I think a lot of times we think, oh, if I have to get people to like my stuff, I have to draw a certain way, and it's just not the case. You just be confident in what you're building and go from there. Like, and mine is just crazy weird creatures, and like I was really into drawing like comic book characters for years. I was going to be like, growing up, I was going to be a comic book artist. That's all I was going to be. Comic book artist. That's what I was going to be, you know. And like, but see, the thing was, I can never quite create it in a way, or I was never happy with it. But then I would draw like these when I was step away from that, and I would create my own stuff, and it was just this weird cartoony nonsense. Like then I was like super happy, and I would create all these characters, and I created like a whole world and for it, and that's what shaped me. And I got caught up so much in like, this is what art has to be, and this is how it has to be, and oh, I'm not liking this right here. This is bugging me. Let me try it. That already looks way better. Okay, so we're gonna cut that off. That looks better. Okay, it didn't work. It wasn't working. Yeah, like I said, like realism, it's kind of overrated, but sometimes certain things just you just got to fix it, make it look better. Let me see what we got here. Take that away. Okay. He is looking weird. I like it. I kind of don't need this wireframe anymore. I kind of got what I need from the wireframe, so I can start doing detail like the gums and teeth and all that fun stuff. And there's another thing too about this tablet is like you can just, just digital photography to begin with. It's just like you can just kind of, you can't do that. You can't get in there like that on a piece of paper. I can draw infinite little worlds within this and then keep building out. That's crazy. It's crazy. Wish I'd tried it before, but whatever. I'm weird technology adverse weirdo or whatever for no reason really. Other than I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do it. This is better. I'm gonna be a weird 90-year-old. I'm already doing like the young kids like are bad kind of thing already. Whatever. I don't freaking care. And see, what I do is I love putting like exposed gums and all kinds of fun stuff. Like it just makes me happy. What I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll tighten it all up, make it like nice. So technically this is still like the rough stage. Like I'm a ways away before this is becoming like coherent and solid. Like there's still like stuff crossing right here, and there's stuff all over the place here. So it's definitely like I'm still changing that. Like I'm just gonna be scratching this out, and I'll come in here now with an eraser and I'll tighten it all up, make it pretty. Something like this too, for whatever reason, like every time I draw these like little monsters or whatever they are, I just fall in love with them. I'm just like, there's these misunderstood little beasties, and they're just, they're not mean no harm. I mean, they can do a lot of harm. I mean, obviously, look at this little guy, but they don't intend to hurt anybody. My example all the time is like a goblin shark. Like a goblin shark isn't an evil being. It's a goblin shark. It's horrifically ugly and does horrible things to its prey. But yeah, it's a goblin shark. It's just, that's what it does, It's just misunderstood. All right, we're going to fatten up that lip a little bit. Put some definition in here for the lip. One thing to get used to, though, I know for me with this drawing tablet is like, because I'm using these brushes here, and Photoshop is brilliant. It has these great brushes and stuff that are responsive to drawing tablets. So it's all pressure based. So this cursor here, my little bubble here, is bigger than because you see these really thin lines. I've been drawing with this because it's based on pressure. So that's one thing I had to teach myself to kind of overlook, because it would freak you out at first. You're like, oh man, it's way too big. And then I would make it bigger or smaller, and then I couldn't see it. And so this is the part where I just start scratching in some detail. Like this comes down to that thing. You just be confident in your style. I like it just beat up and weird. Like I just don't like, I gravitate towards that, No, I don't like clean. I get scratched and beat up, and I'll come in and erase that. Actually, I can do that right now. Actually, see the eraser, I always try to put it back on that. So you don't want to use this one right here when you're drawing, because the computer or whatever, the brush, it doesn't respond. So like it'll make this jumpy pattern, whereas this one's nice and smooth. So use this one for like erasing only, at least in my experience. And see, what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll just chisel it out like that. And I'll leave it all beat up. Ooh, that's too much. Doesn't matter how thin it is, thick it is. It all comes down to, once I put color in, I start contouring it and start scratching it. It's almost like sculpting in a lot of ways. You're trying to get it to look a certain way, and sculpting, that's literally what it is. You're just taking a piece of material and just knocking it into submission. And sketching in a lot of ways is no different, at least in my experience. It's just getting in there and just, my clay is ink or digital ink as in here, and I'm just coming in here and I'm just cutting and ripping to get it to start to come through. See, it's starting to kind of see, we're starting to see some little more details. See, the teeth are starting to come around. It definitely still need a lot of work. One issue I always have when I do stuff like this with the teeth that are like an underslung jaw is like this whole upper part. Like, how do you define that, Oftentimes I just do heavy shading. Brush. We'll come in here. Little bags and some cuts and grooves. I love like big hollow eyes or little hollow eyes. I don't know what it is. I used to do pupils and stuff, man, and I'm just like, screw that, man. I'm going hollow, emotionless eyes. Doll's eyes. Oh. There we go. Oh, come on. Like a doll's eyes. Love that movie. Shark wasn't paid enough in that movie. Heard he went on strike afterwards. But it was the 70s, so they didn't have the rights they had for sharks just yet, so he didn't get what he was paid. Ooh, look at that. See? Oh, that made me happy. Those eyes look crazy. That makes me happy. Yeah, I gotta have him drawing. If you're gonna have an underslung, horrible maul of teeth, you gotta be drooling. I'm sorry. That's just the rules. We don't want to be a bunch of rule breakers here. What I love is I'm getting so tight in here, and like to do this, and when I zoom out, like you're not even gonna be comprehensible. And like also too, like I like the dirty, so like I just leave it like little bits and stuff like around here, and whatever, leave it. It'll look good in post, whatever that means. See, it's just like sculpting, man. You throw down your median, and you just start your material. Start carving. This is right here. This is the feature I love, is that you can get in so close and just like there's no way to do this on pen and paper. I'm never going to abandon pencil and pen and stuff. Like it's just, I mean, it's the ultimate portable thing. I mean, you just can just like throw it in your bag and get to work. And with phones and stuff now, like if you're following me on Instagram right now, which you should be, just pencil and paper never will be beaten. It just never will be beaten. It will always be a tool. It will always be needed. You're a designer, you're an illustrator, you're animator, doesn't matter. Pen and pencil, little piece of paper, a little bit of scrap. Got a client or whatever, say you're doing like a design job or something, you can just sit there and whip up a logo really quick and just give them a rough idea right on the spot. Then you're not at home guesstimating on your computer, like, oh, maybe they'll like this or they'll like this, If I speak a lot about graphic designs because I have a highly coveted associate's degree from a local community college in graphic design. I know, thank you. Sit down. Save your applause. Save your applause. I mean, you can keep applauding if you want, but just very hard to get. It took me 3 years for a 2-year degree. That's actually true. It took me forever. I'm not a guy, like, show me a 2-minute video. I can instantly start applying what you're showing me. Make me sit down and watch a guy and take notes. Ooh, no go. My brain, I just don't do it. I can't do it. I'm a great learner. I love learning. I love reading books and learning from professionals and stuff, but I'm very much like, put me out there, show me the stuff, show me the ropes. That's just how my brain works. But we don't live in a world, as of right now, with technology and people disrupting the educational arena. That could all be changing, but as of right now, that's how you learn. Very thankful I went to school, but dear God, I will never do that again. And the funny part is like, I got a graphic design degree, but here I am drawing, just putting stuff on the internet. See? Oh, it's so dirty. When I put all the color on that, it's gonna look so cool. He's coming around. It's like a toad of some kind of mutant toad. All right, I'm gonna call this episode for now. I think that was like 20 minutes or so. All right, we're gonna go take a little break. I'm gonna take a little break. Join me the next day of your days. We'll get back on this. We'll keep drawing them. Hopefully we'll start getting into some color. Gotta get on the quills and get his feet all start designing and all that fun stuff. But thanks for joining me. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.